All right, we are back after a brief interlude due to an interruption, and we're going to do chapters 10, last problem from chapter 10 here on this practice quiz. That's number 7 over here, and so let's see how this works. First of all, the best thing to do is just get in gear what the formula is for this kind of problem. We're going to be trying to figure out how much we have to buy for the production of a particular month, and the way that formula worked, if you recall, is we start off with what do we need to produce, how much do we need, we figure out what's our targeted ending inventory, and then we can, once we get that, we figure out what is our ending inventory, beginning inventory. Sorry, let me just make that a little bit more clear. We figure out what our beginning inventory was, or we find it out, and you're adding this and subtracting this, and that will give you, as a result, that will give you how much you need to buy in the particular period of time, how much you need to buy. That's the goal of our formula. And of course, you could have any one of these, any 3 of these, and leave the 4th as the unknown and solve for it because you've got the equation. So you can do the algebra and rearrange this into any number of ways of solving for any one of the 4. All right, that's the initial go-around. Let's see what we got. We want to know, the question is asking how much has to be purchased in order to meet the production goal of the month. So it's sort of a standard way of looking at it, and let's take a look at it. In this case, they want to know how much material to purchase, so it's going to be a production question. The information is going to be found in this column, this row of production that's budgeted. We are told inside the problem that the beginning inventories will be based on, the ending inventories are going to be based on the next month's budgeted production. So if we need to know what any particular month's ending inventory is, it's 15% of the next month's budget of production. If we want to know what the beginning inventory is for that month, it was 15% of that month's budgeted production, because that was the previous month's ending inventory target, an ending inventory of 1 month, ending inventory of, let's say, July. It becomes the beginning inventory for August. Sounds simple, but sometimes you get it mixed up, so it's good to just keep that in mind. Okay. All right, so let's see what this all means in terms of some numbers. We know that the production for August is 24,940. That's the number of baking pans, which is the target of the problem. Baking pans, that's how many baking pans we need to do. The beginning inventory amount for that month would have been last month's ending. Last month's ending was 15% of this month, meaning August. So 15% of August, which is 24,940, would have been the ending inventory last month, so the beginning inventory this month. So let's figure out what 15% of that is, and it is 3741. So that's our beginning inventory. Our ending inventory requirement is 15% of the next month's budget, which is September, so 26,240 at 15% gives us our ending inventory. And we'll write that this way over here, 3936. All right, so now we'll apply the formula, which is simply take the production, and I'll start using some different colors, add in this, the ending inventory, which we need to have, subtract out the beginning inventory since we already had it, and that's going to give us a mess. No, it's going to give us, let's see, it's going to give us a number, so let's do the math. I'm going to do the math. 24,940. Remember, these are just the baking pans. We still have to translate this into the actual materials itself. So 24,940 plus the ending inventory. We add the ending inventory. That was the formula. We get 28,876. If you want to know why do we have to add in the ending inventory, it's because we need to have that left over. So we're going to have to produce enough to meet that targeted amount of ending inventory. Okay, now subtract the beginning inventory, because that was already there. And that should do the trick to give us 25,135 is the number of pans in production that we have to have. So now that we have the number of pans, let's keep 25,135 in mind. I'm going to erase the board and start to show you how to translate that into dollars and cents. All right, so how we translate it is this is the number of pans. Each pan has 0.7 pounds. So we're going to multiply by 0.7 to get the number of pounds of aluminum that we're talking about. Then we want to multiply it times the cost of aluminum per pound, and that'll be 0.85 cents. That'll get the monetary or the pecuniary part of the problem in there in that equation, because now we got the dollars and cents in with this number here. So doing the math, 0.7 for the number of pounds of aluminum times the price per pound gets us to 14,955, and we see that that answer is the correct answer. That's what we were looking for. Okay, let's move into some Chapter 11 problems just for the fun of it, which is here. Let's do number 10, and then we maybe take a break. These may go quickly because I think we did a pretty good job in the class this week in analyzing the formula involved. We just have to know what we're looking for. Here is the materials quantity. So we're going to look at how much material was actually used versus the budgeted amount of material. All right, so actually used was 985, so we'll write that down first. Again, you may have another way of doing the same thing. I just like to do the what did we use first. How much were we budgeted to use to make 800 scarves? 800 scarves, the budgeted amount would have been 1.2 yards per scarf, or a total of 960. So this was the budget. I'll put B. This was the, actually instead of B, let me put S. That's the standard. So standard, and we'll put for here, put use, the actual, let's use the letter A. Yeah, the actual amount. So you get to see right now that we were already in an unfavorable position because the actual amount is more than the budgeted. How much more? Well, the difference is 25. Now let's translate that in terms of the standard dollar amount, so 25 times the standard dollar amount per yard will translate it into a dollar figure. So if it's 470 is the standard dollar amount per yard, let's multiply it out. The difference is 25 times the 470 per yard, and we wind up at 117.50. That's going to be our, and unfavorable. Notice that the answer is 118. That's rounded for the unfavorable amount, and that's what she writes as far as how you do these problems. So again, you took the differential between the actual versus the budgeted or the standard amount times the dollar cost per yard, so you can quantify the material quantity variance in dollars and cents. So this is a dollars and cents number. Okay, let's see what happens next. And I think what we do is try one more. Let's see if we can quickly go through it. Again, keep in mind the same type of formulation. Here, this question is asking what's the direct labor efficiency. So that's going to be hours, not rate, but hours used in the production. So let's see what happened. I looked through the problem already. You'll have to look through it also. But they made 6,000 chairs. That's how much they actually made. And how much material did they, or how many hours did they actually use? So they tell you it was 3,840. So 3,840 will be our actual. Let's put an A there. And let's see, what would the standard amount of hours that should have been used for 6,000 chairs? So it was 13 per hour, but how many hours? There you go, 0.65 hours per chair. 13's the, don't look at what I underlined here, because that's just the cost, and we're not interested in cost right now. We're interested in efficiency. So it should have been for 6,000 chairs, the budgeted amount of hours would have been 0.65 times 6,000, and that'll give us 3,900. And you can already see that we've got a favorable balance going on here because it's to our benefit. We use less hours than our standard amount told us we were going to use. That's the standard. How much is the difference? Well, it's 60. 60 times the budgeted rate of 13 per hour. Let's do the math. 60 times the budgeted rate gives us 780. And lo and behold, there you go. And again, notice that it's favorable. And we saw that up here immediately with the way the equation is looking. Pretty good. Pretty good. I might actually be able to pass this quiz myself this Sunday. All right, we'll take a break here and we'll resume with, I think, about 2 more problems. I'm skipping over some of the conceptual problems because you can check the text for those or send me an email with any questions you have on that.